Hey, welcome to episode 8. I'm going to stop calling out the episode numbers right after episode 10. Why? I don't know. Getting kind of tired. I'm going to get all confused. And episode, what? Episode? So after episode 10, I'm not going to mention episodes anymore. But for today, it's episode 8. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about a song, As If, that I wrote. It talks about rain. It talks about a lot of different things because we've been having weather in California, and it's pretty amazing. A lot of people want to put down Bakersfield because it's always so hot. The air's so dirty. I got to tell you, the last few weeks around here have been just marvelous. And so I'm going to get into it a little bit, but now I got to get back to the studio. Let's go.
Rain clouds are moving in, a chill down to my bone. The way that you look at me, forgiveness never known. You say you love me, but I just don't know. Oh, I'll act as if. Oh, I'll act as if.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that basic first verse of the song As If that I wrote. It's on my record. You'll find that in the description below and how to get my record. Please check out my music and listen to the entire song. But I wanted to talk about it because I have some interesting when I write. I'm usually writing about rain, a lot of times, or I talk about the river a lot, because these kinds of things, when I wrote it, when I started the basic beginnings of that song, it was summertime. As I mentioned in the soft opening, that, it gets hot around here, really does, and we don't get a lot of rain, and so those kinds of metaphors, it's kind of like a dream state or something for me, when I'm writing, rain clouds are moving in and chill down to my bone. I was kind of hoping, because it's 105 or 110 outside, the only place I get cold is standing under the air conditioner, but it's also a metaphor. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about it too is because, lately we've been getting some weather, and we're having record high rainfall, and it's pretty cool. The weather around right now is just awesome. Being in the studio, you can't really tell. There's no windows or anything in this room, and so it's the same no matter what time of day it is. But outside, it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And, I think our community gets a little bad rap most of the time for the weather around here because, of course, they only talk about it when it's 110 outside. And one of the things I like to say is, I can swim in my pool. I have a swimming pool. And I can swim in my pool from April, May, all the way till the end of October. And it makes me think, it's worth having. If you can only swim in your pool for a couple of months, I mean, that doesn't seem worth the investment. I don't know. It's just me. But the reason I wanted to bring that song up as I spin off on tangents is that it's about a subject that I think, needs to be talked about. I brought it up and wrote it. The hook, "As If," is it's actually a spiritual practice of dealing with non-belief. I don't know about you, but believing in a higher power or God or whatever it is that you think of as something besides yourself, there are times when it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe when you're going through trials and tribulations and stuff. And Lord knows I've been through a few, and there's been lots of times when my faith has been tested, and in those times I have to act as if, even if I don't really believe. It's, some people say fake it till you make it, and that can be misread. But the reason I bring it up is because the rain clouds moving in, it chills down to my bone, is a poetic way of me saying depression is coming in. And when I get depressed, it can frighten me, and I get chills down to my bone. For anyone who's ever had depression, that sinking feeling, that feeling. And so the song is about that. It's about depression and, quite frankly, anxiety, of both. I think, to me, for most of my adult life, I've suffered with depression and some anxiety. And, the recognizing it is one of the first things. I know when I first recognized that I had depression, I thought, I just thought that I was a depressed person because I always felt some kind of depression. I didn't even know what anxiety was until after I started trying to get recovery from depression. And, it took a long time, and it continues to, because as I was working through some of those things, I recognized that, depression, I'd do anything to not be depressed. I would overcompensate and all kinds of different things, trying to help myself. And, it's been my experience that there are some things that are just out of my control, that I'm unable to do that. And, the song, the reason I'm, to kind of get back into the song, is the second verse is, I was trying to find my way back home, but somehow I got sidetracked. I have ADHD, but that's also about how I dealt with depression. I really was trying to do something, but the depression was so strong. I had to do something else. I was trying to survive, because my depression took me to really dark places that the solution was not good. And for anyone who's had depression, that there are times when you're so depressed that you think that the only answer is, I just got to get out of this no matter what, And that's when acting as if kicks in for me. The whole premise of that song is acting as if, even if I don't believe, I got to act as if. And then the line, "You say you love me, but sometimes I don't know." I write these things open-ended because I want people to have their own experience with what I'm telling them. And for me, that experience is, the love of God, even the love of my wife. She'll say she loves me, and I don't understand when I'm depressed. I just don't understand how anyone could love me. But I have to act as if. I have to continue to believe. And, it's just an act of faith. It isn't always pretty or happy. But I continue to move. The third verse comes around, and, the waves are coming in and the waves are going out. And because I just picture, around here, it rains over at the coast. It doesn't rain too much around here, but I picture being caught in the washing machine. If you've ever surfed and you get stuck in that constant waves crashing on you, you're not really going anywhere. And to me, that's the insanity of understanding depression and anxiety. Once I started recovering from depression, I found out, as I took direction from other people and got counseling and even had to do some medication for a time and understood that I had depression and started taking some action and doing things to change, I found out that my depression's seasonal. How come I didn't know that before? Well, one of the things about mental illness, untreated, it's progressive. It just continues. And so I had depression all year round. But once I started recovering, I had times when it's like, wow, I'm not depressed. And once the depression started relieving, I found out, I'm light sensitive. So, I do better in the longer days. I take vitamins, exercise, and I do things. I start to recognize the signs of depression, and not give in. And once I started recovery, that's when I recognized my anxiety, because anxiety is the other end of the spectrum for me. And I would head back into depression because it was comfortable. I would get fearful being outside of depression. I know for people that have depression, that can be frightening. That melancholy is comfortable in a lot of times because you feel it so much. But I tell you, the song that I wrote is about believing, acting as if God loves me. Because at the end of the song, you say you love me, and now I see, because I've gotten through the depressions. I've gotten through those times, and I know that this too will pass. There will come a time when if you have depression, you will get out of it if you talk to someone. Don't keep it a secret. The worst thing you can do is try to get over it yourself. And it isn't weakness of sharing that you have depression. Most people have it, especially in these times. Depression and anxiety is off the charts. Teen suicide is astronomical, and suicide in general, in all ages, is on the rise because we're depressed. We've been kept. We've been collected. We're being separated. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons why people are depressed. It's really a hard time, and so we need to be together. So the reason I always try to have some kind of redemption when it comes to my music. And at the end of the song, I'm glad that I acted as if, because now I know you love me. I know my wife loves me now. I'm worth loving, and so are you. Keep checking out my channel. I know it's a little serious, but it's also about making our community better. And this is how we do it. We talk to each other. We love each other. We listen to music. We go out and get some sun, drink some water. Just have a blessed day. And keep watching my channel. Like and subscribe and tell your friends. There's going to be more. I promise you. It's going to be great. Keep coming back. Let's try this. That's awful. Let's do this again. get it in a minute. Hey, please like and subscribe to my channel. I know that it's not easy to make these videos all the time, and whenever I try, as you can see, they're not always the best. I kind of suck. Let's do it again.